Okay, I'm streaming now. Twitch. I don't know what set it is. Isn't it set? I don't know.
Says you went live, so
cool.
That's good.
Set 1, set... Okay, it's set 3.
Yeah. Don't forget to change the title, because it still says plus E3.
Mm-hmm. Gotta set my... Okay, now I'm in the chat again.
Refresh. Okay, yeah. Title's fixed.
Oh. Cool. Oh boy. I need to actually start the game now.
Alright, and I'm gonna start. I guess I'm gonna start with Pokemon Green version. Oh, frick, sorry.
Huh.
I'm just gonna turn the music off for that. So that way it doesn't bleed over my microphone. Considering I think the speakers are like right next to the microphone part of Max.
Uh-huh. Let's just start up this, then... Cool. I have no clue what this sounds like. Huh. This... I'm not sure.
Eh?
Can you go to the stream and figure out how it sounds,
I'm waiting for an ad to finish. I'm trying to check on my iPad because then I don't have to plug my headphones in and get like blasted by the ridiculous volume.
Yeah? Okay, where am I? I'm in this save area, am I? This place I've never been to.
That sounds fairly good.
Oh.
You're a little quiet though.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm just on the stream.
Huh. Maybe I'll...
Like, you sound fine, you sound like fine here.
I hope so.
But on the stream, your voice is a little bit quiet.
I hope that fixes it.
Yeah, alright, let's see.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's fixed. Alright.
Okay, cool.
That's good.
So last time we went and got the gravity suit. I forget how, like... I think I did something strange last time and somehow went and got the ice beam early. Yeah, that's what I did. I got the ice beam early. Not too early, but... And because I had the ice beam,
yeah.
I went got the... Well, I could have got the gravity suit without the spider ball, but I thought not because I didn't want to
accidentally break the game.
Nah, the game doesn't break. It's
Or
just
not break, but it was like
I think it was like a practical reason. Like,
yeah.
I know what it was. Is the various suit? The various suit has its own morph ball model for the spider ball. But if you got the gravity suit early, then you'd never see that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so like, if you get the gravity suit without the spider ball, it just gives you the original morph ball from without any
because it doesn't have a
suits.
texture for it.
Yeah. And so, you know, that's that. You know, you'd see that, but it's at the expense of not ever being able to see the various suit spider ball. Yeah, this is a disaster. Out of missiles, so I can't just spam missiles. I can't get this though.
Crates or some kind.
Can I get this?
Magical floating missiles emerge from it.
Fortunately, I don't think there was any there. I like the different colors of this.
Oh no, I accidentally started a battle with someone.
Oh boy.
It's bad dialogue that the stream will miss. It's nothing too special.
Damn it, that music, that like the Lugia theme. Like, the prospect of having a version of that's
Yeah, I started prepping for that. I like made a Logic X Pro or Logic Pro X, I'm sure you can say it, file for it.
Yeah.
And started just like with some MIDI pianos. Started mapping out some of the main tunes.
That's really nice. But
yeah.
By the way, can you make a MIDI of that too? Can it like?
Yeah, I can convert it to a MIDI, but I'd also have to like. See, the problem with converting things into MIDIs using freaking Logic Pro X is that unless you turn literally every single like slight reverb of the volume off, you'll get this atrocious looking MIDI that basically has multiple lines for every single note.
Oh boy.
And oh god. Like someone asked for the MIDI of that one like battle theme for a game called Off that I remade with like Earthbound sound file. Someone asked for the MIDI file for that, and so I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. And so like half a week later, after trying and failing to convert it into a MIDI, I finally managed to get it to a decent level where it only like split into 7 tracks rather than 64,000.
Oh my god.
So like I basically just left it at that and put Dropbox link. It was like For some reason, some of the tracks are split onto several different ones, but you should be able to put it together yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just got to the point where, like, if people really wanted to use it, since it doesn't really sound that good outside of the Earthbound sound font, then they can go ahead and freaking make it themselves. Or at least kind of assemble it.
Right. So you have multiple, like, so all the tracks are in different files?
They're in different files, but, like, you know how, I guess, Fruity Loops works?
No.
Or whatever, how there's, like, different audio tracks, you got, like, drums, and then the next one up is guitar, and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, imagine if most of the note groups for, like, the same instrument were on different lines.
Uh-huh.
For no reason, and you can't really figure out why, but it just does it anyways. That's essentially that.
I don't know what a line is.
It's like different, like, instrument lines. Like, it's meant for separating the instruments, but for some reason it separated the freaking notes.
Yeah.
And it sucks. So if I wanted to, like, turn that into a MIDI, then I would have to, like, make extra sure that I have everything, like, under preparations to keep it from sounding like garbage.
Yeah, but the prospect of being able to have it be a MIDI as well. Like, cause then I'd be able to play it in a,
like, on different MIDI program sound fonts.
Yeah, and then...
So that's what I'm gonna try to do.
Yeah, but the
is
main...
also turn it into a MIDI.
Yeah, but that's just, like, you know, like, whatever.
Yeah.
The main thing is to actually just make the thing.
Make it.
Yeah. And the prospect of that, like, that, you have no idea how much that excites me. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, so far it hasn't been that hard. The only thing is that all of the, like, super, I guess, like, the orchestral string swells,
Yeah.
will probably be hard to simulate, so I'm probably gonna, like, try and compensate for that.
Yeah.
Using whatever stuff is in the Mother's 3 sound font. But I should be able to capture pretty much most of it. I'm thinking about doing it in just Mother 3's, because I think it'll sound real good in that.
Yeah. Is there any other songs that you did in Mother 3's sound font? Is there anything else you did in Mother 3's sound font?
Let's see, I've done multiple RPG Maker songs in Mother 3's sound font, instantly, like, untacky-ifying the RPG Maker songs in the process.
Yeah.
Because you know how RPG Maker songs are basically just stock Windows MIDIs that sound super freaking cheesy until you actually put them in a decent program.
Yeah.
And I've done that with a couple that I haven't even released yet. I did that, I think, like, last week or something, just for the heck of it. And those sound pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, so Mother 3 sound font is a really freaking good sound font.
Like, I admit
it's got
that...
a lot of variety to it. It's basically, I could possibly, like, just use Mother 3 for anything I create.
Yeah.
But of course I'm not gonna, because Mother 3 still has the limitations of, like, Game Boy sort of, it's got the slight Game Boy tinge to it.
Yeah.
The sound font version's a lot cleaner, so it just sounds like nice, clean, sort of, you can tell they're sampled, most of them, sampled from something else, but it's still a lot cleaner than what's in the game.
Yeah.
Because of how GBA works. But yeah, it's a really good sound font.
I'd say that I think that one of the reasons last night went so bad is because I got too excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm not joking either, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I forget how I did this.
Well, you can't jump when stuck to the thing or whatever. Or you try and cheese it.
Well, I've been cheesing this whole thing.
Yeah, I've seen you, like, use the collision detection to sort of boost yourself up there without having to use the spider ball.
It's not even the spider ball, it's the
The grab suit thing.
You need the grappling beam to get up here.
Oh yeah, because of the freaking things.
I forget how you get up here. Oh, I see. Oh god, oh god. That is scary. Cool. Control failures. Oh, in this thing. Plasma
Right
beam.
into the freaking wall. Oh, the plasma beam.
Oh, I'm curious. I think after you get the gravity suit, you go through the wrecked ship, and then into phazon mines, which you're supposed to go into before you even get the like. I think you need the gravity suit to go there, but I just got the gravity suit. So I'm not really skipping too much, just kind of doing the same thing, just, you know, getting something early, but other than that, I'm not really allowing it's not really opening up any areas early. The only thing it means is that I won't have to go back over here when I need it again.
Yeah.
That's weird. What?
What?
Look at this. I'm right off this platform.
Holy frick. Are you sure it's not like an Invisiplatform?
I don't know what it is.
It's either an Invisiplatform or they forgot to scale the, like, collision box down.
Yeah, like, look how far I am away from this platform.
Yeah, so it's either an Invisiplatform or
They just
it's
messed
like
up.
the boundary box for that was not scaled down and everything.
Yeah.
Which is very likely.
By the way,
Considering I don't really understand why an Invisiplatform would be there.
Yeah. I like how this is the very first time. Like, usually this is a room that you go through many times before getting the plasma beam. And then I just came in here. It's the first time I'm in here. Okay, technically the second, if you count the room with the plasma beam. But, you know, and I got the plasma beam the first time. And I've not even been through this door yet. Oh, I have, I have missiles now. It just means I can spam.
Yeah.
I said this before, but I like all the door colors.
Yeah.
The,
It does a good job, like, someone walking into a room won't know what it means until they get the item for it, and then they instantly know purple door means this, white door means that. And it doesn't have like the freaking thing plastered onto it like you're stupid or anything. It just assumes by that point that you know what this means.
Yeah. And that's very important, is that you're able to find those doors before you have the item that opens it.
Yeah.
So that not only can you not go through it, but it's also mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Yet another thing that Metroid Other M did wrong.
Yeah. Alright, so this is unrelated to Metroid, but I'm playing Pokemon Green version, and I decided to sell some of my items because I realized that there's a limited inventory in this game.
Yeah.
And I've never sold anything before. So, one of the things the clerk says is he says, use US dollars for quoting prices and settling accounts.
Wow.
Even though I'm paying with yen. Oh, God.
Oh, so let's see, you got Poke dollars, yen, US dollars.
That $1 sign that comes up whenever you beat a trainer.
Yeah.
So you're running with like 4 different currencies, because people can't decide which one it is.
Uh-huh.
But yet it doesn't seem to matter, because everyone's just taking money anyways.
So what's next?
Yeah.
Like the Chinese money?
Yeah, it's gonna be like... Well, Chinese money is, I think, still called yen. But they use a different money sign for it.
Isn't it called the yuan?
Yeah, it's called, like, yuan or something like that.
Yeah.
It still uses, like, a similar pronunciation.
Uh-huh.
Though, and it still uses the same general, like, Y with the Ys.
Yeah.
With the lines or whatever in it. Even though, in Japan, yen uses a totally different sign, and not that yen at all.
Uh-huh.
It uses a sign that looks like a kanji.
Uh-huh. Guess you could also have the Korean currency.
Yeah.
Which sounds a little bit more likely. Or whatever the, whatever Vietnam uses.
Yeah.
For,
I don't freaking know Vietnam's currency.
Well, it would be Chinese, though. So Chinese that sounds like the most likely next one.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a, Also notice the container is gone.
Yeah.
Remember that thing that was here?
Mm-hmm.
That I was
just totally disappeared.
Yeah. And that's why it was like I didn't look up a guide to how to get the gravity suit early or what.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I figured all that out myself because I really wanted to know what happens. Oh, I need to get over there. No way, I should be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Bellsprout has remembered how to sew. Which I guess is like the seed move that grass type Pokemon know sometimes.
Sure, there's like a missile tank around here. Yeah, there it is. The one that I always forget it exists. I like how it's just in this little hole. It's right underwater.
It's just kind of right there. So it's like, I guess...
I just like the architecture.
It's like a missileception.
I just like the geography, I guess. The architecture, I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of centered, really, because it's kind of just like, it's like naturally...
It almost looks like something out of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. It's got... Ocarina of Time had a lot of this, like, centering things when it had secret, like, things.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be able to back up a little bit in a room and be right across from a hole, not even knowing that you were actually across from it until you looked.
Uh-huh. Can't wait for Metroid Prime 2.
Oh, yeah. What about Metroid Prime 3?
I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, just skip it entirely.
No, I don't think I'll skip it. I've just not played it in forever.
Yeah.
And you know my opinion about it. I remember, like as a kid, I'd try to get through this, like, yeah, this bit right here, this bit in the music. I'd try to get through this whole segment right here before it would get to that.
Yeah.
Kinda stupid. But it's probably the most remarkable memory that I've got of this area. This door was not gonna open, is it? Oh.
No.
I'm dumb.
Oh, freaking Switch.
Is these things?
Oh, it's like those little crabs from Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Like ones that are in the Dark World overworld.
Uh-huh.
Just smaller.
Maybe I can finish this game tonight.
Because didn't you say you were already about like 2/3 of the way done or something last time?
Yeah. In terms of exploration, there's just lots of stuff to do.
Like, I know backtracking is a popular part of it.
Yeah.
Even though Metroid's one of those games where the backtracking is like part of the experience. Because instead of like typical games where they just do it for padding, Metroid just kind of allows you to explore the areas more. Since typically Metroid areas are kind of cool. Not only that, but it also gives players a chance to find any secrets that they didn't think to find first way through. Which would suck if it was such a linear game that you couldn't even backtrack at all, because then you'd miss tons and tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, frick. I ran out of attack for the whatever move the Bell Sprout was using, and here's the text for no longer having any like power points for the move.
Yeah.
None main points of skill is surplus. So apparently you no longer have surplus points of skill. Even though you didn't have surplus to begin with, because you just get the amount that you get. English.
I love this music. It's just...
thinking about listening to the soundtrack after you finish playing this.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to, like, listen to the soundtrack beforehand, because I don't want to spoil any musics that I haven't heard yet.
Yeah. I can understand that. I love how serene this is, but how, like, it has its own... Like, it's... I don't really know how to describe it, because, it's got, like, a certain, almost techno kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But not really.
It's kind of like a... I don't know, just kind of like a fusion of a couple of things.
Yeah.
Like, it's got that, like, sort of contemporary piano thing going for it.
Yeah.
Almost reminds me of something you'd hear on the 64 or something.
Huh.
Kind of like a Dire Dire Docks theme, but more atmospheric.
I never thought about it that way.
Just the serenity and the piano.
Yeah.
Kind of made me think of Mario 64's underwater theme.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
What?
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking... I thought it was cool that you can go back through the ship from the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's a little bit lazy, because in Super Metroid... You know, Super Metroid had a bit that was kind of similar, but...
It was pretty much optional. Like, wasn't the trek back through the ship, like... I think he did have to do it, actually,
Yeah.
to get out of the lava area at that one point.
Uh-huh. But... It's its own area. It's not really related to the ship from the beginning.
Yeah. Like, the freaking glowing algae on the walls is reminding me of Vinny's Soma playthrough.
Those things?
Like the algae sort of things, like the just general, like the algae and the blue lighting to the kind of like orange / rusty color of some of the metal.
Uh-huh.
It reminds me so much of Soma. And Vinny's Soma's playthrough was really good.
Yeah. OTG's playthrough of that was also really good.
I haven't seen his, so maybe I'll watch that.
They're a little bit different in style, like...
Well, obviously, 'cause, you know, different, like, people doing it.
Well, yeah, and you know, because I noticed that, because I watched both of them, and Vinny's tends to... You know, Vinny's tends to focus more on the atmospheric horror more,
Yeah.
and like the psychological horror as well.
Yeah, he was constantly like noting how interesting the psychological aspect of it was.
Yeah. Whereas OTG tends to, well, let me just tell you right now, his playthrough is a lot more lighthearted.
Yeah, I figure most of his stuff in general is more lighthearted. The way he played, like, I've only really sat down and watched most of his Minecraft stuff. I still need to finish it. I think it got up to, like, I don't know, I think I got up to part 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
But even when with Minecraft, it was still pretty lighthearted.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that he plays other games pretty similarly.
Uh-huh.
Which is just another side of the, like, coin when it comes to different people who play the same game, is that you get to see two sides of the same experience, I guess.
Yeah. They'll tell you one thing right now, for a game like Soma, OTG's playthrough is definitely appreciated.
Yeah. Considering just the general oppressive, and when you think about it too much, almost overwhelming atmosphere of the game itself.
Yeah, it definitely made it
like to the point where you could actually see Vinny getting affected by the whole thing with like finding out what the arc is and stuff.
Yeah.
And seeing the victims of like the surviving humans basically living in like complete and total control of the WoW substance.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, a lighthearted playthrough for a horror game is always appreciated.
Uh-huh. In fact, well, you know, I'm not gonna say, because it's a bit of a spoiler.
What?
For OTG's
Is it about the,
playthrough.
like, OTG
Yeah.
playthrough?
I forget where the last one of this is. This is another bit right here that is always a bit sad that you could never explore. This broken tunnel of sorts.
Yeah, just probably just there to add to the aestheticness.
Yeah, but it, like you
to make it feel like there's more to the thing that there actually is.
Uh-huh.
Which always leads to disappointment when you can't explore the more of it.
Yeah, and the thing is that the whole point of Metroid is that you should be able to do things like that.
Yeah, not only that, but that gap's freaking more than enough for Samus to fit through.
Yeah.
But of course not. Had to tape it up with invisible boundary boxes.
Uh-huh.
The least they could do is have it so there's like debris blocking the middle of it. So it's like, oh man, I probably could get over there, but I can't. Instead it's like, why am I not able to get over there?
Uh-huh. I'm lost in this room that I should know where it is.
So aren't you just trapped in a room right now?
Oh, I see. I mean, I could just turn on the heat visor, but... You know, this thing. That lets you see everything.
Yeah. The freaking predator vision.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
Yeah, but the thing is that it makes everything blurry, and
Yeah. So you lose the atmosphere because you're now looking at everything via like the most, I guess, like elaborative point. You can see all the details of the things that you need to address, but you can't see the details of the atmosphere, the things that actually make the game.
Huh.
It allows you to scan a dead space pirate for the info.
Yeah.
Rather than telling you how it died.
Now this is the original. That thing that explodes, but this is the original. Oh right. This is one of those areas in... Well, this is one of those areas from... that you couldn't actually get to in the beginning.
So it's one of those areas that you were hoping like to get to explore, but couldn't because of the fact that you couldn't actually get there.
Yeah. But you can do it here. Always that missile tank at the top of the morph ball maze.
Yeah.
It's not really a morph ball maze, is it?
It's just kind of like just a little morph ball path sort of thing.
Yeah. Now you can... I don't know how to shoot those things. They can they're wall hacking.
What?
These enemies with...
projectiles?
Yeah, these...
Oh, they're freaking shooting through a massive rock.
Now I... Cool. If you exit the water right here, the music will switch. But there's this small, you know, like you can duck your head just a little bit out of the water, and it won't change over.
So it's like you have to go above a certain mark of the trigger.
Yeah.
In order to actually get it to work.
Yeah. So you can actually keep the you can look around this room with the with this music.
Which is kind of a neat thing.
Yeah. Need to get up there. You can pretty easily Well, not really. Like, you can bomb jump through here. You can actually get over this without activating it from the other side, but it's really hard.
I figured, because it looks like the window's pretty freaking minuscule.
But if you can, then you can get the last suit in the game without the spider ball. I had to do that to do that. This is the only time this message ever appears.
Intense radiation detected.
And they don't...
It reminds me of a wording from Subnautica. When you get too close to the radiated field of the Aurora.
Yeah.
Which is the name of the giant freighter ship that crashes.
They don't mess around with it either, because, unlike later games, you can actually, it actually gets faster and faster. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Alright.
I'm back.
Alright.
Never actually looked around in this room.
just shooting through the top.
Yeah. I wonder if we could skip the trigger for this as well.
You possibly could.
Yeah.
Just knowing a decent way to like get around it without
I don't know.
triggering it.
Huh. Obviously, you're not supposed to have this at this point. Because just one charge shot incinerates them.
It's freaking vaporized.
I always like that.
With the incineration.
Yeah.
Using such a powerful blast.
Uh-huh. The fact that such a powerful blast actually incinerated them. You know, because
making it all the more satisfying rather than just having it do the same animation as every other beam.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There's so many games that do that. It's interesting how I get the ice beam, and there's a thing that you can do how where you can freeze someone and then shoot him with a missile to shatter it.
Which is pretty neat.
Yeah. And then it just gets replaced. I wonder if this is more powerful than spamming missiles.
Yeah.
Maybe, I think so.
Because missiles, it still takes about like 1-2 shots. Whereas this, you can just like directly.
Uh-huh.
Like, no waiting required, except for the charge up.
Uh-huh.
The charge up's not actually too bad.
This is the same one as before, just more powerful. These gun turrets. Oh. Usually always you can scan them to turn them off. Or you can just blow them up like I did.
Alright, so, like, my Pokemons are getting a new move, and they already have 4 moves.
Yeah.
This is dialogue I haven't gotten to see yet. So it's like, Stam has already learned 4 moves. So let Stam forget a move in compensation for sleep powder. Yes, I will compensate. Actually, no. No, I won't. Actually. I think poison is still good.
That was weird.
Then shall we abandon letting sleep power to remember? Damn it. Is ended for me not having remembered sleep powder. Oh god, that was so stupid. I just had to read that. I know there will be more cases where that comes up, like actually on stream.
These enemies right here are pretty stupid because it says that they have your weapons.
They have what?
It says that they have your weapons, but it really just makes them vulnerable to your weapons.
So it's like color-coded enemies, essentially.
Yeah. You can only kill them with a certain weapon.
Which is the same weapon they have when you use it.
Yeah.
It's like the slimes in Final Fantasy IV.
Basically
attacking them with anything other than the color of magic that they look like is totally useless.
And it's not like it's not like it was a translation error. Because this is an American game, actually.
Yeah, wasn't it made in a States company? And the director was like an English guy.
Yeah, I mean it had some.
Of course, it had influence, and directions by Nintendo.
Yeah.
To make sure what they were making was up to Nintendo's standard.
Oh, it's this bit. I wonder if they automatically know where you are.
That would be kind of annoying. Because that means their AI is basically set for homing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a lazy AI choice.
I guess they're also wall hacking.
Yeah.
Eventually you have to fight these guys.
Oh, the guy frozen in the cryogenic chamber.
Yeah. But not right now. Oh, right, you have to, get another item. But some of them just, some of them just automatically happen. I guess like.
Wait a minute.
What happened?
I was running around in the grass, and I encountered a Abra.
Yeah.
And when it teleported, it like added a bunch of freaking glitch characters before it left.
Oh boy.
It was like Kessie or whatever its name is in this game.
Yeah.
Teleported to essentially it was like a slash period CX.
Did it
really
teleport you to a glitch city or something?
No, it just like it did a thing where it used teleport, so it just leaves the battle.
Yeah.
But I think it had it had the dialogue set to teleporting to a location. Like how if you use teleport with like a Pokemon that knows that move in your possession, it'll say Abra teleported you to the nearest Pokemon Center or some crap.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened, but I couldn't see it in the right time because I was like fast forwarding all this crap.
So I think I know what you're talking about.
It tried to draw a location name that doesn't exist because Abra's not teleporting anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just leaving battle.
Uh-huh.
Or something like that. I don't know. If I encounter another one and it tries to teleport, I'll try to slow it down before it disappears.
Uh-huh.
So I can read it.
Abra teleported to, and then the game crashes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what would happen nowadays.
Faux Kessie J up arrow squiggle DSVW X space B slash comma.
What?
That's the move it used.
Did it do it again?
Yes. And that's instead of saying faux Cassie to assail freaking whatever, it's a bunch of freaking random crap. And it's the same text, I think, so I guess it's misnaming something, giving me garbage text.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah. It's like eventually it's just gonna, all text is gonna be corrupted. Because Missing No is slowly eating away at this bad ROM hack.
Wonder what happens if you get Missing No.
I wonder what it's... it's Pokedex, I'm sure it doesn't even exist. I think it crashes the game if you try to open it.
Yeah, but what is Missing No called?
I'm assuming... I'm assuming it's just gonna do something similar to, Caterpie, where it's just essentially, it's essentially just, it cuts off most of its name, so it's just a Miss.
Yeah.
Or Miss N. So its name's still there, it's just because of the weird freaking character limit this thing has. Which isn't actually present in nicknaming Pokemon. You have full character range there, but just for all the Pokemon names outside of that. And I think it can still actually get Missing No. I just need to finish the game so I can get access to the one freaking island.
Yeah.
Forgot the name of it. That way I can fly there, which I can't because I'm still at the second gym. But eventually after that I'll do the whole old man thing and do the surfing along the coast, and I should be able to find it. Because it really is that easy. Just old man, just watch the old man's demonstration of catching a Pokemon, and then immediately use fly after the text ends, and start, and then fly to, can't remember the freaking island's name right now.
Is it like...
Fly to that island, and then start, just get on your surfing Pokemon and surf up and down next to the coast. On the east side.
And then eventually get Missing No.
Yeah, I don't think it happens immediately, because I think you could still encounter, random magic herbs or something.
Well,
but eventually you'll get it.
I think if you, Like, say if you fly from Route 1 to that place and then do that, you'll find random Pidgeys and Rattatas in the water.
Because of how the, thing yeah, because, like, well, similar to that is that from I watched a video explaining
It's
the
just
whole
whatever.
process of why the old man affects the island's Pokemon distribution in such a way that it causes Missing Note to appear. Is that basically it changes because in order to have Old Man like perform the thing in order to like cut data, they made it so that when the cutscene happens, you become Old Man. Like your player's data becomes Old Man's data.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you finish, like, talking to him, before you get into any Pokemon battles or whatever, you're still registered as Old Man.
Yeah.
And so, you go over there, and because there's no Pokemon in town, and you're still registered as a guy who doesn't even own Pokemon, because his only function is to throw Pokeballs,
I think what happens is,
causes that.
I think what happens is, you do become Old Man.
Yeah.
You become Old Man, but then the game has to remember your name. Because, you know, like, normally the game remembers your name where it displays it. So,
Yeah.
so if you were to change your name to Old Man, it would forget your name. So, it has to remember it somewhere else. So they thought, well, how about in the middle of the Pokemon data? For the, how about right in the middle of the encounter data for the current map? So they put it. So they, and it only gets updated when you go into a map, so, oh, and that map has to have Pokemon data, and if it doesn't do anything. So, so you say you go into Route 1, it puts Route 1's Pokemon there. You know, it puts all those Pidgeys and Rattatas there. And then, it... Well, afterwards, then you do the Old Man glitch, and then it puts your name into the old... It puts your name into the Pokemon data, which could be anything. You know,
I think there's also a glitch Pokemon you can get depending on what name you decide to choose.
I think that's the whole thing about it, is that you can you can change your name to get different Pokemon. So eventually, you do that, and then, and I think the main thing is that area on that island, I think it's Cinnabar or something.
Yeah, that's right, Cinnabar. I couldn't remember the name. I kept wanting to say Celadon, but I knew that wasn't right.
Yeah. And I think like the edge of that map is it doesn't have any you can surf there, but it doesn't have any Pokemon. So when you go into it, it doesn't update the it doesn't update the current Pokemon. So you go there, you do that, and then you go there, you do that, and then stuff happens.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you go to, say you go into Route 1 and then fly to Cinnabar and then surf on the coast, you'll find Pidgeys and Rattatas.
Mm.
And if you do the old man glitch, you can find missing nose.
Which makes sense. Considering how, like, a big thing that, like, causes most of the glitches is how the, developers cut corners.
Yeah.
With, like, doing things as simple as possible, but also making things as simple as names being mixed up with Pokemon data.
Uh-huh. You know what's stupid about, the first gen? Is that there's 2 different orders of Pokemon. And I think you already know about this, but like
Yeah, the 2 different numbered orders, so technically Rhydon's the first Pokemon.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like the first...
And the internal number.
Yeah, like you have the regular national dex. And then you have the internal number, which is, usually in the order that they added them into the game.
Yeah.
Which could provide a rough timeline for the creation of
like, the Pokemon's designs.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you actually look at it and say, like, oh, maybe Rhydon wasn't the first Pokemon created. Well, if you look at the concept art that Ken Sugimori drew,
Yeah.
like, half of the Pokemons that you actually see there all look like Rhydon.
Yeah.
Except for, like, this gorilla Pokemon and this one bug Pokemon, I think.
Uh-huh.
Which were made, like, during, like, after the, like, concept planning and during the gameplay planning.
Uh-huh. And it's interesting that, and both of those orders are used in the game. It's not just like... It's not like just it has a reordering thing, just so that it can display it in National Dex. They're both used for different things. Like, I think the National Dex order is used for Pokedex numbers, and like I think the Pokedex data is arranged by the National Dex. In fact, most of the game's stuff is ordered by National Dex.
Yeah, like, individual regions have individual, like, things for them, like how, like, if you started like, a new Pokemon game, the starter Pokemon for that game will always be number 1 until you get National. And then it becomes mixed in with the National numbers. So,
yeah,
what was used to be, like, listed as 1 in that region's Pokédex, in the National line, it could be, like, number 304.
Yeah. Though I guess in Gen 1 it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, because it has a finite amount of Pokemon. So you don't have to worry about the mix-up, like, oh, I thought Trico was number 1, or whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is that in Gen 1, the regional dex is the national dex.
Yeah.
Because there's only the first
one
gen.
region at that point.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
explains why the reason all the other Pokemon games are centered with that at the start.
Uh-huh. I've never seen this area before.
It's kind of neat.
I've obviously been here a million times, but
not really, like, pay attention to what it looks like.
yeah. I can't see. I want to see this, like, this massive area outside of...
It's probably just the skybox, unfortunately. Yeah, it looks like a skybox. Which I will say, some of Nintendo's skyboxes tend to get kind of detailed, but...
Yeah.
A lot of times, like in their earlier games, when it comes to enclosed areas, they just surround the whole cave with a skybox and call it good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is one of the best scans in the game.
Oh boy.
Right here. I think it's this one. A new space pirate. Yeah. Science team is attempting to reverse engineer Samus Aran's arsenal based off of data acquired from her assaults on our forces. Progress is slow but steady. Command would dearly enjoy turning Aran's weapons against her. We believe we can implement beam weapon prototypes in 3 cycles. Aran's power suit technology remains a mystery, especially the curious morph ball function. All attempts at duplicating it have ended in disaster. 4 test subjects were horribly broken and twisted when they engaged our morph ball prototypes. Science team wisely decided to move on afterwards.
Yeah, you gotta have some kind of like a gymnastic flexibility in order to do that. Like I'm assuming, like having a freaking exoskeleton like space pirates do isn't going to bode well for trying to turn into a freaking ball. Which is actually really interesting, because usually you don't get enemy insight like that. Usually the enemies are just like, they don't even say anything, because they're like aliens, so they just like make roar noises or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see their insight and how they look at Samus's weapons, and how they attempted to mimic them, but couldn't quite do it as it involved in like horrific tragedies.
Oh. I always like to try and push him away off the platform.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of stupid how you can super these easiest ones. Actually, they fixed that in the trilogy version.
So you can no longer cheese it.
Yeah. Which is a shame, really. That's just a big blunder right there. What does this say? Unauthorized Metroid feeding is prohibited. More propaganda.
So don't feed the Metroids.
More propaganda. Increase bamboo patrols in authorized areas. Well, I've never seen them, and this is the first time I've ever seen them actually mention those enemies.
Wow.
Like those... What was it, like the things from Super Metroid in the wrecked ship? That kind of just... that get attracted to you. And in this game, they get attracted to the wave beam. Things that you tend to just walk right by. Didn't even bother with killing him because it's just too slow. This is the first time I've ever went into this room and this thing's already activated.
Huh. If we can like tank enemy.
Usually, this guy doesn't activate right away. Usually you walk in here and it does nothing. And
until it finally does when you try to leave or whatever.
Yeah.
It might be running on some kind of like.
I think I know.
Might
what
be
it
the
is
emulation
now.
that screwed it up, or maybe it's like a variable.
I think I know what it is actually. It waits for you to have the plasma beam before it activates.
Makes sense.
Because the first time you enter this room, you don't have the plasma beam.
Yeah.
So, because I have the plasma beam early, I walked into this, and it just activated immediately, which I didn't expect. I've always wondered why that activates. I thought it was just random. That's the power bomb. I know there's a, You can't scan this guy. I wonder. Well, what do you want? I'm just trying to do stuff.
Trying to figure out a way to destroy it.
Yeah, apparently you just have to fight it. I never actually did that before. I didn't know you can just fight it from right where the door is. It's an oh boy. Wait a minute, how did I get over here?
It freaking teleported you out through the cutscene.
Either way. Sounds a bit weird. This is another morph ball maze. That really hurts if you mess up. Yeah, you can just get it immediately. I've never got this pattern before. Now that was a bit of a weird pattern right there. You see how that gate right there just faded into existence?
Yeah. Just materialize out of nothing.
Yeah.
Rather than do that closing animation that most of them do.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, I can go back now, but it's one of those things where, It's just bizarre. Oh, I can also go over there, I think. I think I'll go back and get the grapple beam rather than mess around with it. Look at that gate right there. Notice how it doesn't even fit in the doorway that it's in. It's a different shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that after it was destroyed, I was like, it looks fine, and then I realized, oh, it's a freaking square door.
Uh-huh.
And it was shaped kind of like those typical arch doors that were in like a reset room or something.
Uh-huh. I don't know why that happens, because the regular one that's there isn't like that.
I guess it might have been just an error on their part.
What I think, actually, is that I feel like this doorway used to be shaped like that, but then they just didn't, and they changed it. And they also changed the force field, but they didn't change the other force field.
Yeah.
That's just my thought, but I'm not sure if that's actually what it is, and I guess we'll never know. I mean, actually, we might, because unlike unlike everyone else, the developers of this game tend to be more available than others. Like, have I told you this one time where one of the art directors of this game just showed up in the chat during a Metroid marathon?
Wow. Dang. Well, I mean, I guess it's because they are kind of in the US.
Yeah.
So I figure maybe some of the Japanese developers would show up if there's like a Japanese stream, maybe. I know, like, there's some more casual Japanese developers that actually have blogs and stuff, like
Yeah.
Mr. Itoi, the creator of Earthbound.
Yeah.
He's pretty casual. Like, yeah, the fact that they live in the U.S. is definitely a plus, but also it's pretty neat just to see some like casual, but yet still big name game devs.
Uh-huh. It's also really nice because it lets you answer long-standing questions that have no chance otherwise.
Yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of game developers, you know Mother 4, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening. I think Mother 4 is kaput.
Didn't they just cancel it?
They haven't directly canceled it. In fact, that apparently a couple of days ago, I checked their Twitter today. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Sorry, that was my dad.
Yeah, okay.
Alright,
So...
anyways, after that sidetrack. What was I telling you? Oh yeah, freaking Mother 4. Anyways, so, what happened is that... So they like, went on a freaking... Their last update to their website,
Yeah.
their, like, Mother 4 game blog,
Uh-huh.
was September like 14th or something, 2016.
Huh.
So that was their last update. So several months later, they finally update their Twitter, but this wasn't as recent as this was like 2 months ago, maybe 3 or something like that. But what they said is that they decided they were on a hiatus because they were deciding to rebrand the game to not feature any mother stuff. So they're going to still make the game, but they're going to rip out all the mother influences.
It's a different game then. It's not the same game.
Yeah, they're deciding to make a different game, and I understand why they're trying to do that, because they don't want Nintendo to like tear it down immediately, just like Nintendo usually does. But yeah, so Mother 4 is technically not Mother 4 anymore. I don't know exactly the extent to how much they're going to unmotherize the game, but it could have been just like some freaking ridiculous like rumor spreading Redditor, since this was on the Mother 4's now archived Reddit. Yeah. Since it's no longer relevant. But they said that they heard that apparently they're going to even change the art style of the game, which makes it not Mother 4 entirely. Now, if they were to like just strip out the name Mother, but still keep all the character sprites like they look like Mother characters, and still like keep all the environments and influences like the aliens and stuff in the game, then I could possibly get behind it. But like things like Mr. Saturn's, they said they were taking out of the game because Mr. Saturn is a trademark, and they were also going to take out Mother like songs, like how every Mother game has Snowman. Yeah. Well, this Mother game, this fan-made one, isn't going to have one. So
I just would not pay attention to the game anymore.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to the game anymore unless they can show me that it's still got that Mother in there, just without it being directly like on the nose about it. Because honestly, I'm fine with them not having like the Saturns. Like they could probably substitute the Saturns with their own little thing, considering it is supposed to be in like an alternate universe sort of thing. So there could be like alternate universe Saturns. But like, if they're planning on totally remaking it, like just stripping it of all Mother influences, then there's no reason for people to even pay it any mind. Unless they think the game that they're making right now is cool, which, you know, more power to whoever's like looking forward to that. Yeah. And it's also going by a new title called Radioactive, and which is, I guess, like, just so they could go by a different title. Even though I don't think it makes a whole bunch of sense, considering things still got the space aliens. I don't know how radioactivity goes into it or what. There's so little we actually know about the game, though, because they haven't they haven't shown any screenshots for so long. Because they were trying to keep it, like, secret-y. But they still haven't shown any freaking screenshots in months. Which is ridiculous. I understand that they're trying to, like, or they were trying to keep it a secret. But at this point, I don't think it even matters anymore. So yeah, needless to say, when I found that out, I got pretty salty. But I've kind of gotten over it, because after all, it was a really great idea, but considering it's been going on for 8 years now, and I wasn't around for like the first 3 or something like that, but a good 8 years this game has been in development. I think it's safe to say it's a dream that probably won't actually come true.
I don't even know if I want it. I don't even know if I...
Yeah, like, I think after that point, it just becomes a Duke Nukem Forever deal.
Yeah, it's like...
Or it's like you get it, and you're like, oh god, why did I ever ask for this?
I feel like...
This shouldn't have happened. This should have just died.
You know what I'm reminded of? I think Vinny mentioned this about Chrono Trigger. Like, there's this ending in the game that is be like, do you want, like they say, do you want Chrono Trigger 2? And Vinny's like, no. And I feel like that's how I feel about this.
Yeah, like, Mother 4, like, it looked good. And had it, like, come out in this idealistic state back when it was still fresh, then it could have been, like, a pretty decent, like, homage to, Earthbound. I don't think it ever actually reached the status, but it would be kind of nice to see a game in that similar style, even if it was shorter or whatever. And just have some of that same Earthboundy goodness, because Earthbound's it's so specific. You don't see things like Earthbound anymore. The last one that you actually see of that was Mother 3, and that's pretty much it.
I don't even know what you could do in the universe anymore. Just seems, I mean, I'm sure there's a few things, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's, like, because essentially the plot that anyone could actually really tell from Mother 4 is that it was about this organization that sprung up in this idealistic Eagle Land type land. And they were called the, frick. Can't remember. It was like they were called like the Future Mind Men or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like super hipsterish or something. I can't remember what it was, but they were like going to be the main antagonists, and they would be really mysterious and be like recruiting people. So kind of, it almost sounds like, imagine the plot of Earthbound if the main antagonists, or at least part of the main antagonizing group, was the happy cultists. Where basically they just, like, took random, like, innocent bystanders and converted them into their crazy religion. Only it would also be tied into the aliens, whereas the happy cultists were just caused by random, like, they found an evil statue and it made them go crazy. Like, it's essentially where the plot sounds like it was similar to just, like, the happy cultists, but on a larger scale and tied directly into the quote-unquote Gygus.
Aiden is in the chat.
Oh, hey, Aiden!
Looking at how Metroid is treated, I don't know if it is in its prime Kappa. I don't...
No, I think you're looking for Metroid Prime 3. Then it gets out of its prime.
Oh boy.
It's like Metroid overcooked. It's no longer prime steak. How are you doing? I'm getting kind of tired, but I'm fine.
I'm surprisingly not that tired. I thought I would be, but considering what happened last night.
Yeah, like after you got off, I stayed up like a good hour or so more, and I think that's why I'm a little bit tired tonight.
Yeah. But I'm surprisingly awake. And,
I don't know if you were here when we were discussing it, but it's being rebranded currently. It's now becoming not Mother 4. It's becoming a thing called Radioactive.
It's just becoming a generic indie game.
Yeah, just generic pixel art retro indie game. Back us on Kickstarter. You'll get a fun goal where you get stickers of the characters. And then if you pay like $1,000 or more, you can add your own boss monster to the game. Isn't that great?
My first amendment. You can't make me join the Blue Robe People clan thing against my will. Oh.
Yeah, even though, like, I'm assuming when Mother 4 comes out, even though they updated their Twitter, I think like 4 days ago, amazingly enough.
Yeah.
That they are still working on the game. It's just not called Mother 4 anymore. So I guess that is one sign of life. But if it were to come out, I think it'll still have the basic same plot of the freaking future mind men. I'm gonna freaking figure out the proper name for that real quick. I'm just gonna go to Mother 4 website. But I think it'll be the same similar plot with having this like cult thing where just like it's aliens, but they're disguised as like a new way of being, so they just recruit unknowing people. Which is actually a decent plot.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. And it's so sad because they still have the trailer, and oh man, the trailer was so good. Oh yeah, that's it. The Modern Men is what it's called. So I guess they're going to be like parading like, this is the new modern way to live. Worshipping aliens. Or some crap. Did they really change the game from an Earthbound remake? If so, I'm pleased. Yes, they're... I don't know how much they're changing. People have rumored that they're changing the entire art style. If so, then yeah, you can kiss all hope of a Mother-esque game ever being a thing. At least in Mother 4's standpoint. Who knows if someone else comes along with a good idea. But, they did change it to Radioactive, the name for it. Is now just kind of a generic thing.
I already talked about this last time.
What?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things that makes me really scared. I mean, there's a lot of things that make me scared, but fuck.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Someone just needs... How you fix problems like that, someone just needs to freaking go out there and do it. And be like, no, you can't do that. I'm making a good game, and I'm not infringing on the copperinos. So don't, like,
you know what this
get
reminds me of?
face.
It reminds me of the Soviet Union and communism.
Yeah.
Where there's only one place that you could get anything. Like, say if you needed some food, you'd go to the state-run store, or you need a fridge or something. It was all...
Yeah, it's essentially just a giant freaking fridge house, and that's the community fridge that everyone gets their stuff at.
Yeah, and it was all provided by the government.
Yeah.
And,
sounds like Joel's, where Joel lives, Sweden, they have something similar to that, but it's alcohol. And so essentially, if you want to buy hard liquor, you have to go all the way to this one central store. And I think there's multiples of them, like a couple sprinkled around.
Yeah.
But it's this one central store, and it's the only place to actually get hard liquor.
So it's like... So you have this one bureaucracy... It's like a giant corporation, almost, that provides everything in the country, and everyone in the country is employed. And, they're really repressive. So it's like you could just, and they actually had a mechanism where you could just go to them and ask, "Hey, I want this thing," which no one did, because if you did, you'd probably just get unpersoned. You'd just disappear.
Yeah, like, I want freedom of speech. Yeah, okay, we got freedom of speech. Please step into that room over there.
Yeah.
And close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then freaking explosion sound. Another one's vaporized, sir. Great.
Yeah, and I think this is obvious, but lots of people weren't happy, and the black market was
rampant, I'm assuming.
Yeah, is probably one of the biggest black markets the world has ever seen. To the point where when communism ended, it pretty much became the whole economy.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we're gonna
they don't
remove
need to be a
black part of the market name, and it just becomes regular market. See, it's perfect now.
Uh-huh. And I feel like that, these fan games and whatnot are almost like the black market.
Seriously, because it's like, there's a market for people who like Earthbound. There's an entire Earthbound con now that's gone on for the past 4 years. An entire con that people show up and they freaking talk about Earthbound and how it'd be really great if they made something similar. Of course, no one really was asking for Mother 4. Mother 4 was just like a thing that an idea had, but anything that just has that sort of RPG but pseudo-America vibe to it. The special thing that Earthbound is the only one who has ever delivered on. Which is ridiculous, because you'd think more people would get such an idea as that, but I guess not. The closest thing you really have to it now is Grand Theft Auto, which is barely. It's not even an RPG really, but it's at least a game that's based on modern urban life. And then you also have this one random indie game that came out, I think 2013, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
Called Citizens of Earth.
Yeah.
And Citizens of Earth was essentially advertised as being a game not only centered around idealistic pseudo-America RPG, but it was also done by a couple of people who really liked Earthbound, and that was what they were trying to capture with Citizens of Earth. The thing is, though, is that it didn't quite go over well because of some technical problems with the game, especially when it launched. Considering it was ported to most systems, and the Wii U version was broken for a while before they finally updated it. But it's got kind of mediocre reviews. From what I can tell, it's not a terrible game, it's just kind of a mediocre game. And the whole gimmick is that you're in idealistic America land, but not America. And you're the vice president of the world. And so, you play a character who doesn't actually participate in the fighting part of the game, because he's the vice president. So instead, it's a little bit like Pokemon, where you recruit citizens, just like any random NPC who's says that they'll follow you, but you gotta do something for them, or maybe they'll just instantly follow you. You essentially put those on as your party members, and then all of the directing, quote-unquote, comes from the vice president. He's just essentially the bond that ties everything together. And the whole main focus is recruiting random NPCs. So now, NPCs that were once totally unnotable in typical games, because all you could do was talk to them, well, in this game, you could just walk up to a random mailman, and he could be like, hey, I'll join your party. So that was the neatest part about that. However, it did stumble. I hear one of the features to sort of keep your party up to level, considering there's a ton of people you can recruit. they had a like daycare system or slash I think it was called tutoring or whatever, is where you'd go to like a school place and you could leave party members there and they would gain levels and experience. But the thing is that not only did it also like cost money, kind of like a daycare in Pokemon would, but also it took forever to do so. Like it took actual real world hours. So that was like a main complaint about the game. Other than that, it seems pretty decent. It's got like the whole wacky enemy thing going on. Like you have most of the enemies are like stupid puns, like a speedy snail or like a news reporter buzzard or some crap.
Yeah.
But it does kind of the Earthbound thing, but it also doesn't quite do it proper justice. It's just it tries so hard, but at the same time it just can't achieve what it's going for. It's a little bit tragic in that sense.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think there's been another quote-unquote Earthbound-esque outside of indie games. Which that was an indie game, but it's one that got ported to a bunch of systems. The closest thing you really get to Earthbound-esque nowadays is, like, RPG Maker games.
The sad thing about, like, indie Earthbound games is that, there tend to not be... I mean... For one, it's... I mean, I guess you could make, like, a, you know, like a generic brand Earthbound, I guess.
Yeah,
where
like
it's basically the same.
He lives in U.S.
Yeah.
And he is fight aliens with bat. Haha, look, it's Earthbound, but it's not.
Which would get the lawyers off your back, but at the and that's probably the best thing that you could do without
like offending any like Nintendo person.
Yeah.
I mean, any of Nintendo's IP user sniffers, they like have a team of dogs or whatever. They can just sense when someone's making a fan game and they start barking.
Yeah. The big problem though is that I don't even know, because I'm thinking like they tend to not really explore the world as much as you'd like.
Yeah, they do the quirk thing. This seemed to be the problem with Citizens of Earth, because I've only seen I saw like a part 1 playthrough because I was like bored and whatever, and I wasn't in the mood to watch it because I was watching it as soon as it came out and I wasn't like really all that into it.
Yeah.
Now I probably would go out and watch a walkthrough of the whole thing. But it seems like the main problem was that sure, Citizens Earth had that classic Earthbound cheesy quirk to it. But at the same time, it had this like shallow feeling to most of its environments. It seems like most of the environments were just there for jokes or whatever. Like there's a dungeon under a coffee building that's like a parody of Starbucks. And the dungeon ends up being like an alien lair because the Starbucks parody is being run by aliens. And you know, you have stuff like that, but it's also just, it doesn't have that same feel that Earthbound's dungeons and areas have. It says, like, Earthbound was a weird game. It tried hard to make itself look weird. Now, games that try to copy that game try way too hard and end up failing. Yeah, it was pretty much perfect. Is that Citizens of Earth tried hard. It tried so hard, in fact, that it ended up just making itself look stupid.
I don't
and
have
I think
any...
it's...
I'm just gonna say that the reason I'm doing stupid stuff in this game is because I don't have any power bombs, which I need.
yeah. Yeah, I've just been, like, half grinding on Earthbound, and by the way, Aiden, I started Earthbound, but I didn't get too far into it, so we didn't miss anything really. We just got past the exposition bits with Buzz. But I did that yesterday, so it just got started. And now I'm grinding. But yeah, I've just been like half grinding, half watching you, like, go up the same ramp several times. And you got the grapple bean.
Finally.
But alright, so another thing is up with like Earthbound-esques nowadays that you can find in like the indie RPG maker market.
Yeah.
One that I've recently like heard of, I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know what it was until just recently when I decided to find out. Is a game called Lisa. Specifically, its full title, Lisa the Painful RPG. And its selling point is that it's made by a guy who likes Earthbound. And even though it's a side-scroller RPG, which is pretty interesting, really, it also has that sort of simplistic Earthbound style with like the little line eyes and the rosy cheeks and stuff like that, and like weird enemies and weird concepts and whatever, with a slightly like modern feel to the environments.
Yeah.
But the difference between like Earthbound, like idealistic Earthbound-esque, and Lisa is that Lisa is based off of the book. It's actually based off a book, and it's based off of the book Children of Men, where basically, like, the human race becomes unable to actually continue.
Oh boy.
Because in the world of Lisa, all of the women just suddenly disappear. They just don't exist anymore. So now it's a world of, like, a bunch of buff men. And also, at the same time that happened, a drug was invented called Joy that most people in the world are addicted to, and it not only makes them stupider and more animal-like, but it also causes them to turn into hellish monsters.
Well, no wonder it makes them more animal-like.
Yeah. So everyone's violent and horrible, and it's like a really, really crude game where everyone cusses all the time. But at the same time, it's got that, like, light-hearted art style. It's such a weird conflict. When you see, like, a kind of cutesy-looking, simplistic character who then tells you that he's going to freaking gut you in front of everyone. And it's like, well, what the heck is this?
That almost sounds like something that I'd want to see.
Yeah. I'm thinking about actually getting it, because, like, it looks really cool. But at the same time, I've heard that the name Painful RPG, its subtitle, really actually means it. Like, it's a really freaking painful RPG. In the sense that, well, I don't think it's that grind heavy, or at least, a spoiler-free review I saw about it didn't say anything that it was super grind heavy. But there's a random aspect where basically if you sleep at a camping spot, like in a save point or whatever, when you sleep there, essentially if you wake up in the morning, different things could happen. Like, you could wake up and you could, like, get an extra $10 just lying there on the ground. Or you could wake up and find out your party member has been kidnapped by a local gang and will kill him if you don't show up immediately. And it's just a random aspect, and you have no idea when it's going to happen, but when it does happen, you're potentially screwed. And it sounds really fun and cool. And that's why I'm thinking about possibly, like, trying it out.
Yeah. I'd kind of like to see that. Looks interesting enough.
It's essentially Earthbound, but incredibly gritty, and also post-apocalyptic. And not so much Earthbound as it is. Essentially, imagine the world of Earthbound just going to total crap, is essentially what Lisa is. Yeah, or a kid that tells you you need to frick off or he's gonna knife you. Essentially, even though, like, from what it seems, most of the game revolves around criminal gangs, and just like it's so bizarre, the like world of the game and how strange it is, since the whole world of the game is essentially run by a bunch of buff men who are just out in a horrific wasteland of trash. And it doesn't even have any formal government, that's why it's just full of crime. Like, literally everything is crime. But at the same time, like, it just looks really cool. Alright, I'm level 5. Which is, I can't remember what level it's supposed to be actually start taking shirts. I guess that's decent.
I'd have that thing as a pet. Because it says that it's like... and it's funny because the game actually... I think there's like a few skins. They're like, Metroids aren't pets.
Yeah, like, don't treat them as pets. They'll freaking eat you.
Yeah, because they know.
Too bad that one Metroid from Super Metroid, which I guess hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah. It's like, I'd have that thing as a
wasn't
pet.
like a thing, because it could have like taught the other Metroids how to be good. It could be like, guys, we shouldn't eat people, it's me. Samus is my friend. Sounds like Earthbound and Fallout kind of baby. Yeah, it's kind of like that, I guess. Only instead of, like, radiation, you have the drug joy. And instead of it being, like, Fallout, where there is some, like, actual organized nice guys, everyone essentially is out for themselves in Lisa, and also Lisa's a heck of a lot cruder. Like, one of the main selling points of the game is that people will just, like, tell you to frick off. Like, tell you, like... Like, just literally, there's tons of cussing in that game. Which I don't really have a problem with saying, it's just that, like, also my room has 0 insulation. And so I don't, like, since I don't really cuss in my house, because it's not a thing my parents like. Yeah. So there's probably gonna be lots of fricks. I don't have problems with, like, other, I guess, softcore cussing or whatever. It's just the F word that I kind of don't want to say unless I get an actual wooden door on on my bedroom, since I don't know if you know, but my bedroom has, like, glass doors, like, it has glass panes in the doors, which means that sound goes straight through them. So yeah. If I do decide to, like, get it and stream it, it'll probably be after Earthbound. So, maybe by then I'll actually have decent doors. So I don't have to worry about censoring for the sake of freaking parents. I think I'm gonna try just grinding on the shirts now, since I'm kind of tired of getting 4 XP from dogs and stuff.
Still don't have any power bombs.
How do you get power bombs in this game? Is there like a special location?
You just kill enemies.
So
But none
like
of them None of them have dropped the power bombs yet.
So it's just kind of like a random, kind of slightly word drop, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds like Earthbound and Fallout had a baby. I think you already read that.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a perfect description.
Yeah, pretty much. I hate how these guys freaking gang up on me.
Transport.
Also, another interesting thing that I learned about Lisa is that the whole game, like literally the entire game, was made by one guy.
Yeah.
Even though it is, I think, supposed to be a long game. Or a longer game than a...
Is it like
it's
one of those
definitely longer than
where...
that other game I played, that other RPG Maker game that are like, Space Funeral.
Yeah.
Like, I think Lisa's about the length of a typical, like, decently sized RPG game.
Yeah.
Not a freaking JRPG, but like a decent sized regular RPG. I love that in the trailer of the game, the main character calls for someone in a dark room called Brad, and he has a cult and he just says hi. I think Brad's the name of the main character of Lisa, and the cult, I think, is just another one of those cults in the game. Because I know there's like multiple crime organizations that all like you end up encountering through some means or another.
I wanted to see if he'd get bigger, but I don't think he did.
The freaking like growing squid enemy.
Yeah. Because they can, but it's
like
just...
I know they can like actually. I wonder if there's a size limit on this.
Well, that's the thing.
Probably is. Cause,
it's a shame.
Ridiculous.
It would be better if there wasn't.
Yeah. So it'd be clipping out of the map at that point.
What is... I'm getting... Oh my god.
Oh, you're freaking being dinged up.
Yeah.
I'm hitting them.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could, like if URDE ever gets finished, I wonder if that could be done. Is that thing stuck?
Oh, frick.
Forget about clipping out of the map when there's no size limit. It just did it right there.
Wow. Fantastic. But anyways, what was it
What?
that you were talking about? I think you said something.
About URDE?
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about, like, if you could remove the size limit in URDE.
Yeah.
If it ever gets made. That would be
That
fun.
might actually end up being made.
I'd like to do that. It's almost like how, like in the Pokemon games, you can remove the level limit.
Yeah, so it just becomes 999, but in reality it just... Like, I think you can get... I think I saw someone with, like... I can't remember what channel it was on, it was, like, years ago. Someone was screwing around with glitch Pokemon, and they had one that was, like, level 702.
Yeah? What game was that?
It was, I think Pokemon Red version, or if it was Pokemon Yellow. I think it was Red, though. And they were messing around with, I think, the, one of the glitch Pokemon, it might have been, like, Z something.
I don't think you can't have levels above 255. And that's not
Then
like...
I could have freaking misremembered that.
Yeah, and the
But I
thing
could
is
have swore that I've seen, like, someone screwing around with a glitch Pokemon, and it was, like, freaking level 700.
Yeah.
But at that point, all of its moves were null, so it just crashed the game.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you can't have levels above 255, and that's not like a, that's not like a limit that they have in the game. That's just...
A display limit, yes.
Well, I mean, it is a limit, but it's not one that they added into the game. It's just a fundamental limit.
Yeah.
Like the memory that stores the level for your Pokemon has it has 8 bits in it. Like, it's an 8-bit number, which just means that there's 8 different things that can switch on or off. And of course, that has 256 different combinations of on and off, which gives you the number 256.
Yeah.
So, oh, this makes it a little bit easier to see, but I don't know. Yes. Almost dead. Just died anyway. Same thing right there. Wonder if he could push these guys into the
Like, damage stuff.
yeah. Oh, by the way, that's phase on right there. The blue stuff. Should have said that before because I just skip all the text.
Yeah, like I was just
Which
like, just, like, damage materials. It's the lava reskin.
Yeah, it's not exactly rare, is it?
Yeah, it's just basically most of the ones we've traversed so far.
Okay, that's it. I think there's another scan over here. Yeah.
Alright, I'm level 5. I guess that's decent enough to start it off next part of Earthbound.
Nice.
Then, because there's some I guess, kind of obligatory sharks that you have to fight. You can avoid all the ones that are just random encounters. But there's a couple that if you just talk to them in the overworld, they'll battle you. And I think one inside the building, actually no, two inside the building that approach you and tell you to battle them. So I should be able to get to level 6, and I think that's good enough to be Frankie.
Nice.
Which is the mini boss before the boss that leads into another mini boss. Because essentially they just layer on 2 mini bosses in one, which is Frankie, and then after the main boss, the 5 policemen.
Nice. Never even noticed these panels right here.
Like information stuff.
Yeah,
I guess they're kind of off to the side.
Yeah.
Almost like they're behind an object.
It's another example of, like, there's a bunch of dark rooms, and then it's like all the light from the whole area where it was dark just gets concentrated into one room.
Yeah.
And it's just super bright.
It's almost like a light here.
Yeah.
Like they might have been trying to portray something else, but it just didn't quite work. And there's also the thing with, like, just fog in general, and how it kind of nullifies most lighting effects around it. Especially early fog, because, like, even if it's a dark room, you can't do a dark room in fog. At least in this game's engine, since the fog just completely whites out all light.
Huh.
Red, like, emergency light. Is that like a boss or a new enemy type in there?
Thought it was kinda obvious.
Yeah, considering it's the only thing in the room, and it's freaking huge. And the room's totally empty.
It's the only thing there, it's the centerpiece. It's huge. Like, there's a bunch of other things off to the side. There's an elevator,
it's essentially a room that does nothing but draw importance to a single center.
I think it's like, this is just about as obvious as it gets.
Yeah. The only more obvious, if there was a sign up above the door that says boss room.
Yeah. Don't think you can scan it right here. Think you actually have to do it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. platform active. And it activates the elevator, but it doesn't deactivate the force field.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this doorway right here is not the usual doorway in Metroid Prime. 'Cause notice how there's no frame?
Yeah, it has like a little lining to it where the model ends.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just coming straight out of the rock face.
Uh-huh. I think Metroid Prime 2 has a lot more of this. But, and I think it works well. But, you don't see this often in Metroid Prime.
Yeah. It almost looks kind of weird, like it was almost unfinished, considering how little you see of that sort of doorway.
Uh-huh. But here's the kicker. Look right there. That little triangle that comes out of the wall.
Yeah.
I think that's the door frame right there. That's just in the
Oh,
wall.
yeah! So it's just like they sank the door in a little bit.
Yeah.
So it could, like, have the wall sort of organically flow around, and there's another little piece sticking out of the wall.
So obviously they cheated for that one.
You know, they cheesed it. They went the cheap route and just, like, buried it.
Fuck, I'm gonna fight the boss. Doesn't I fast forward it? That was fast. This guy's not really that hard.
It's like a super ultra pirate. This is essentially the brute version. That doesn't help his weak points anymore to giant freaking orbs on his body.
I just realized something.
What?
You're supposed to have the X-ray scope for this, which is usually.
And you don't have the X-ray scope?
Yeah, I skipped it by accident. It's just so out of the way that I didn't feel like it.
It seems like you don't really have to.
Oh.
Great name.
I think the what you do for this is you kind of just have to do it. You have. I think what you have to do is just ignore the. Get out of my way. Clearly that doesn't affect it. Because obviously it just... This uses a lot of missiles though. Now he spawns more enemies. Thankfully, they're piss easy ones. You can't really shoot this guy without the X-ray scope, can you?
Yeah, if you have like a decent idea of where he is.
In which case,
So you could be stuck in this boss.
Yeah.
Oh, frick.
Could be unwinnable.
Did you save recently?
Yeah, I saved outside of the boss room.
Alright.
And it's a long trek back.
So you could possibly... Is there like a specific... It's when he turns into invisible form, do most of like his like...
Oh.
limbs still sort of exist?
I don't know. The main problem is just seeing them and knowing where to shoot.
Yeah. Does the thermal scope just not work?
I don't know. Come on. Also, I don't have any super missiles, so... it's gonna be hard to... Yeah, I was shooting right there. And there was nothing. In which case, I'll just reset the game. This guy's a dick.
Seriously. So I said he's like literally the tank of tanks. So I think it's just best to sort of like stand around in the like phase on.
He just walks right up to you and just starts punching the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious because he's so slow.
But at the same time it does maximum damage. Last health can do.
Yeah, I was right there.
Yeah. then it is impossible for you to beat them without required learning. The ghost freaking
I'll tell you what, I'm getting really good at downing them really fast.
Yeah, well, at least you know when you get back, you should be able to do it.
In fact, the biggest problem is got lucky that he gave me missiles. Now I have enough for a super missile. Should I continue or reset?
I'd reset. Just because it's pretty obvious that the game won't let you attack them, even though you're like shooting that actual blade.
Fuck you, game.
Wow, after all this like cheesing you've been able to do, the game for some reason decides to make it so that you just can't kill that guy without a certain thing that basically just lets you see him.
Yeah. So now we have to go back. No, I'm not gonna fall for the bullshit.
So where's the scope located? Is some like in some random offshoot or something?
It's located almost on the other side of the game.
Oh, great.
So if we go back the way we came. Thankfully, there are a few shortcuts.
Yeah, I'd assume. When it comes to like freaking having to walk across the entire game, Metroid's pretty good at offering a couple of quicker ways. It's always fun. What are these ones? They're the non-ice versions of those things. Oh yeah. These frozen things in the frozen bubble or whatever finally get returned.
It's almost like a podcast. he's saying.
Just been here drawing random stuff while listening to the stream. Yeah, I guess it is kind of podcasty, considering how many, like, just, like, first of all, how, like, casual both of us are when it comes to stuff.
Yeah.
And also how, like, just random talking stuff.
Uh-huh. I try to be casual.
Yeah.
When,
I think I have the potential of possibly being like a decent, like, I guess Vinny's kind of like a comedy streamer, since he can like actually pull jokes. But I'm also terrible at pulling jokes and commentary and whatever. Or like making up commentary on the fly. That's why I usually just gravitate to like, well, what happened today, or this random thing, let's talk about Koopas or whatever.
I can't really... That's why I need your help so much, because it's very hard for me to just think up stuff on the
solo
fly.
Commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get better at solo commentary, because I do think I have, like, the speaking potential to be able to do it decently. I'm just so freaking bad. Like, one of the number one problems is that typical thing where it's like, you're trying to say something really witty,
yeah,
but you're going too fast, and so your mouth just freaking screws it up. And it's like, wow, I just ruined a really great joke. And then just sit in awkward silence as you relate. You just screwed up a joke, and no one found it funny, and it was just a waste of everyone's time. Not right their brain. My brother's on my computer, and it's I've had occasions like that, but it's mainly Minecraft that causes prolonged staring without blinking.
Yeah.
All those blocks, man. I would like to do a podcast because I think it's just about normal stuff and I like to branch off. But my friends don't want to talk to me at like 8 at night and I'm tired. Yeah. Like, there's some people who do morning podcasts or whatever. Or like midday podcasts, depending on people's schedules.
Yeah.
But it also depends on like if everyone's in on it. If you have like a group of friends that have podcasting potential.
Yeah, I just tend to... You know, I do like the big things, like whenever I do something or something that I find really notable, I do like to talk about it and I guess milk them for all they're worth.
Yeah.
But when that isn't the case, it's when that's not the case, it's pretty hard to figure out
what exactly to start talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, my main problem when it comes to, like, keeping commentary up is just screwing up jokes. Because not only do you have to balance your investment in the actual game, but you also gotta, like, if you're gonna make something witty, you gotta make it sure it sounds witty. But when it's kind of this late at night, and, like, I end up, like, thinking too fast to actually speak, then it becomes a mess. And then it's like, why even try? Because it's just gonna sound stupid anyways.
This is one of my favorite elevators in the game. Yeah, it is a,
It's like suspended in a giant cavern.
Yeah. It has a bit more of a mechanical vibe to it.
Yeah.
Than, I mean, they're obviously all mechanical, but you know, this one's fully enclosed and everything.
Yeah, it's essentially suspended by mechanized. They probably like drilled out the tunnel specifically for this. Well, if you mess up a joke, make a joke going off your mistake. I've done that a couple of times, subverting the obvious incompetence by using like, oh man, that was a stupid joke. But like, the thing is that you also have an invisible try counter for that. Because the most, like, depending on how many times you end up subverting it, it only gets to the point where the audience starts getting like tired of you subverting it, and you're now just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, and eventually
and then
it stops working eventually.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that you've always got to shake it up when it comes to that stuff. Because as soon as someone catches on to whatever quote-unquote lazy trick you're trying to do to, like, mask mistakes, like, it starts getting kind of obvious. And then, like, they start being like, oh man, this person's clearly trying too hard or whatever.
Yeah. This is another cool bit. I like the tunnel.
Yeah, the tunnel, that kind of reminds me of that tunnel in Super Metroid.
Yeah. Now what? Where was I going?
You're going to get that one lens that's like across the whole map.
Yeah, okay.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna...
forget where that other room goes.
I've gotten, like, a little bit bored since I've finished, like, grinding drops, and now I figure now's a good time to find more crappy Pokemon Pokédexes. It's kind of just been a side interest for me for recently.
Yeah.
Trying to see what kind of, like, decent ideas people have come up with, and how they compare to actual Pokemon. Because a lot of people say fan Pokédexes are always better than the Pokédexes in the actual games. It's like, you know, fans, they know what they want. They can create cooler Pokemon than Ken Sugimori ever could. But you look at some, and some of them are pretty bad. Some of them are pretty bad.
We would talk about Sonic and eventually end up talking about Sonic selling drywall
to a Mexican drug cartel. And the reason he is fast is the iris, and the reason he is fast is the IRS. And a loan shark are after him. Either that or Sega's after him. He's like, come on, Sonic, it's time for your new game. And he's like, oh no, people are gonna hate me again. Plays that there isn't a Pokemon that's a flip-flop. And potential addition to VP's Pokemon game.
Pokemon Clover.
Yeah. And all of its, like, freaking stupid, intentionally stupid Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only one that I can think of that isn't so stupid is the legendary Clovermon thing. Can't remember the name of it. But that one's actually legitimately well designed. Even if it is just the logo of 4chan.
See, here enemies are dropping power bombs left, right, and center.
Guess it's just the frequency depending on area.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything decent, so I just typed in Pokemon fan Pokédex. Let's see what kind of great things we get.
Sonic, they can't hit you again. You're at the point of no return. May Nintendo bless your poor franchise's soul.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just gotten to the point where, like, I don't know if you heard this, but, the new Sonic game is essentially an OC simulator. Where you get to have your own original Sonic character play a big part in the game's storyline.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're gonna, like, freaking allow you to customize it to the point of...
Is that real?
It is real. It is real. If you want freaking...
I want proof.
Ultra Fire... the radioactive hedgehog bat dragon.
I think this is fake.
your amazing OC that has, like, conquered every RP they've ever been in. Well, you can now add them to a real Sonic game.
And God is dead.
Yes. Yeah, I think this is living proof that if God isn't dead, he's definitely abandoned us. He's like, well, they've made that Sonic game that I didn't want them to make. Time to start things over.
Yeah, I'm almost here. By the way, what the fuck? That's like if they decided to turn Sonic Dreams Collection into a real
like
game.
A legit thing.
Yeah.
Which I will say Sonic Dreams Collection was well made, and the people who made it also made another indie game involving skateboards that was really cool.
Yeah.
Played it. It was un-Sonic related. It was just a cool indie game with skateboards and you can do awesome tricks.
Yeah.
So it's the people behind it actually had talent, and Sonic Dreams Collection was just a massive freaking joke displaying all the things wrong with Sonic and its fandom.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that. It's essentially not too dissimilar if Sega woke up one morning, saw Sonic Dreams Collection, is like, yeah, let's just legitimize this now. Like, we'll include it in Sega bundles. If you buy the Sega Indie bundle, you get that open world Sonic game that someone made that was actually really cool. And then you also get Dreams Collection.
That's scary.
And then like 5 other absolutely horrendous Sonic fan games made on RPG Maker. And there you go.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to make a side-scrolling Sonic game in RPG Maker.
Oh god, I've seen people do it with Mario Brothers. And my god. But I don't think I remember ever seeing a side-scrolling Sonic game in RPG Maker. Just people who didn't know how to use the Game Maker engine. And when they tried to make a Sonic game, it just freaking failed.
It's not like Metroid where it's just, you know, you jump around, like you can jump and, you know, run on the ground and whatnot.
Yeah, like a Metroid RPG Maker game, it would be clunky, but it would be feasible. Like, you could probably do it.
Yeah.
And make it half decent.
I dreamed Markiplier played a part of Sonic Dreams collection a few months before it came out.
That's a sign. You're the teller of time's end.
Maybe you could tell us when Sonic dies.
Yeah. Like, maybe try dreaming the final Sonic game before Sega is like, our beloved mascot, after all these years, we've decided to finally end it on a high note by just remaking the old games now. We'll just do that every 1 or 2 time units, considering it's like probably year 4053 and everyone's robots. I'm gonna do stuff like that a lot. Yeah, I guess it's either like complete and total bizarro coincidence, or you actually are a future teller, or it's a case of like false memory crap.
Hey, if you are a future teller, tell me when there's a new bird in Zelda.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll defect back to Zelda then.
I know, like, they kind of released an idea of what the new, like, the DLC coming out this, I think, September is going to be, and it's going to be centered around the 4 cool guys.
Yeah?
I forgot what they're called, but the 4, like, Hyrule Warriors. Oh wait, that's the name. You know, the Darunia bird guy, Zorachik, and Zelda, and Gerudo Lady.
Yeah.
It's gonna be centered around those people, or something to that effect, because the little mini trailer that was just a tiny teaser, because they didn't show anything of the actual DLC, featured them in it.
Yeah.
I don't do that stuff consistent, it just happens randomly sometimes.
So it's like, when Vinny... Like how, Vinny was playing Metroid... I think it was Metroid Zero Mission recently. And it's like, I think he said, the reason I'm playing this is because I'll play this and then it'll show up at E3.
Oh yeah, because of Vinny's strange thing of playing classic games and suddenly remakes or sequels come out directly afterward.
Yeah.
Which is insane, the coincidence.
Uh-huh.
Because literally, it even happened with Conquer. Unfortunately, like, Conquer was a bad thing that happened.
Yeah.
Young Conquer doing a thing in a stupid VR. So it's not actually Conquer, really.
Uh-huh.
But
so
that's been the only time where it was actually bad, I think.
Yeah. And he intentionally invoked it this time. But the kicker is that it actually worked.
Yeah. Man, like, Vinny should just start invoking all of the... He should say, like, wow, I'm gonna play Mother 3, and then Mother 4 is gonna come out, and it's gonna be actually good, and it's not gonna be a totally different endgame.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's gotten a lot of comments about that since.
Yeah, like, Vinny, please place your magical streamer Vine True magic on my favorite game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's like, please play my
could
game
know
so we can get remakes.
Yeah. I could know if the new Pokemon game would be good. Like pulling up. Like I'm kind of mad about that too, but I know why they're doing it. They're doing it first of all because cash runes. That's pretty important, and also because I guess they just like the idea of third legendaries that are literally just husks that can be like taped to the main legendaries to improve them or whatever. Even though Zagarde wasn't a husk really, Zagarde was just a thing with potential because of like an Earth Warrior or some crap. I don't freaking care. But let's see. So the plot with Kyurem was that Kyurem was like Kyurem used to be one Pokemon with Reshiram and Zekrom.
Yeah.
But Reshiram and Zekrom split apart because like the two trainers that like liked the dragon Pokemon were like, I like ideas better. I like having realistic ideas rather than following my dreams. And the other ones were like, well, I think dreams are more important. And then they asked the dragon, and the dragon was like, you know what, you guys are just gonna keep fighting, so let me just go ahead and split up. And so I'll one side will just go with this guy, and the other side will go with that guy. And so that's what happened. But when it split up, it created like an emptiness, like just a husk of both of the dragons, and that became Kyurem. So it's essentially just a shell of both dragons, and that's why you can fuse it together with Reshiram or Zekrom, because it used to be part of them. But I have no idea what the connection between the one freaking Ultra Beast thingy and the Sun and Moon legendaries is.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do for that. It's probably gonna be something similar. What do you want to bet? It'll be like, well, this thing came from the Ultra Dimension, and it used to be both of these Pokemons.
Didn't
but
they
then
already
it got.
Because I could, like, if you look at the trailer, like, there's like a few pictures of like edgy black versions of various legendaries. I don't remember what the circumstances were. But
the circumstances were like, it has something to do with how Necrozma, which is that like edgy looking Ultra Beast legendary that's hidden in a corner in the after game of Sun and Moon. Like the thing with that is that that's that Pokemon, but fused with the Sun and Moon guys. So it's like, I guess Necrozma also is something similar to the Husk, or like it's an incomplete Pokemon similar to Kyurem, and it also has abilities to be combined with the Sun and Moon's legendary guys. So that's why I'm thinking it's gonna be like a plot where it's like, when the Ultra Beasts came from the Ultra Beast dimension or some crap, there was this one Pokemon, but when it entered the not Ultra Beast land, it split into two or some crap, and then this is just the excess energy that's become kind of like a husk. And that's why you confuse them or something. Almost like just a sequel, or like a copy of Kyurem or something. Which isn't so cool. It sounds a little bit lazy. I'm hoping that's not what it is, and that they actually have a better explanation.
I think that this game would be better if it didn't have these guys.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You stupid, like, Sonic Fast.
But the thing,
freaking...
that's not even the biggest problem with them, is that they appear in one of the areas, and they never ever go away. They just keep appearing after a certain point.
Wow.
And...
Just an infinite respawn.
Uh-huh.
Never be black, tearful, boring.
It's one of the few problems, it's one of the, few big problems with this game.
First black and white, but on I'm gonna go watch some YouTube videos on this one. See you, Aiden.
See you. So now that I have this visor, I should be able to beat that boss. Of course, I still have to walk across the whole game again. What would be a better way to go? Oh, fuck off. Fuck off.
Oh, freaking more girls.
Did I go the long way?
I have no idea.
If I did, I'm so dumb. Because I could have just not taken that shortcut from earlier. And then, it would have been right there. This is like a long cut. It's fucking stupid. Oh, there's this alternate path that you can take that'll get you there. Oh, it takes longer than the original.
It's like, why even use that alternate path?
Uh-huh. To be fair, I don't use I barely ever go there. Maybe I should have used that save station. Because
Yeah, perhaps.
they heal you. Come on, open the door.
Oh boy. Alright, I actually found a fan-made Pokedex that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah?
I'm gonna... well, no one's even here, so it doesn't even matter, so I'm just gonna cover it, because if there's anything important
Can you
to talk
post
about
it?
Yeah, sure, I'll link it to that.
Shiny site there.
Its grass types are a fox with grass, then it becomes a fox with horns and a flower tail, and then it becomes a screaming fox with a flower tail and angel wings. All three seems high quality. And there's like a fuzzball dragon that evolves into like a dragon with red hair. And it's like standing like a dog. Then it becomes a standing dragon with red hair. It looks kind of stupid. And there's a turtle that evolves into a turtle with a stupid hat, and then it evolves into a turtle with like wings made out of freaking log or something. Just kind of geckos, water geckos. These look really freaking weird. chocobo, just a 3 evolution line of a fire chocobo.
Huh. Hey, at least it's a bird.
Yeah. It doesn't. It looks pretty decent compared to the first
There's
one.
so many. There's some ridiculous. Oh my god! I'm really.
What is this? All those freaking.
It's just an army of.
It's like 10 of them. There's some things that look like stupid Digimon. You gotta be kidding me. That's the worst porcupine Pokemon I've ever seen in my life. It's called Hedgehog. Or Hedgehog. Hedgehog.
Oh my.
And it looks stupid. It's just like a spiky thing with a happy face. And then it becomes porcupine.
Huh.
Percopine. Hi, see what they did there? They just switched 2 letters.
Huh.
And it's just a version of that, but only the spikes are a different color from the rest of its body this time, and it has a dumb tail. So that's an instant plus. There's raccoon Pokemon. Typical bug Pokemon. Multicolored fish. Rabbit. A really dumb looking Pokemon. A dinosaur that like has a bunch of spikes instead of back legs. A dog.
Just a
Actually,
dog.
the dog looks pretty Just something that looks like Jigglypuff, but resprayed with like ears. And then it evolves into like a bigger, like a rodent animal. Small owl bird that evolves into an Arctic owl bird. This kinda, it's kinda boring.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of weird Pokemon. There's sea monster, gecko. Literally just a different version of Gengar. That's more edgy because it has red on it and it's angry instead of mischievous or something. It's just a lot of just really weird Pokemon.
By the way, right here, I think there is a in this room, I think there's a game-breaking bug.
Oh, frick.
Well, the idea is that right here, you see this pickup that I got?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can leave the room, and then after you leave the room and come back, it'll be gone, even if you didn't get it.
Oh.
And you need that item to beat the game.
Chozo artifact.
So if you do that, if you do that and save, then your save is unwinnable.
Which is definitely something they should have fixed, but I guess it was an oversight.
This is not. Got lucky. Is there Metroids? Yes. And now I'm out of missiles.
Good grief, I wonder if multiple artists made some of these Pokemon, 'cause some of these look way, like, actually good.
Yeah?
Some of them freaking stupid. Like, as in, like, why did you draw that, stupid? What is the thought process behind half of these? One is literally a snake that looks like a hose. It's like an earthbound enemy at that point.
Huh.
And then one looks like a thing from Sonic. Oh my god. And then there's a couple of cool ones. And then there's a Digimon. And then there's freaking weird ones. It's such a freaking mixed bag. I wonder if... It seems like part of these are jokes, because I just got to the weed Pokemon.
Yeah, okay, now that sounds like something out of Pokemon Clover.
Yeah. Like, that's why I think maybe, like, I think half of these are actually, like, legitimate tries at being cool, because there's some pretty cool ones, like, there's a bird one that looks cool.
Can you...
There's, like, actually several bird ones that look pretty cool.
Nice. I've not actually looked at this yet.
Yeah, you can look at it after stream, they'll just sit there. And if you need me to relink it, I'll just link it in Talks Chat.
Uh-huh.
There's a couple, like, dog ones or whatever that are actually neat concepts. Some of them look like... Some of them are so stupid looking. Like, as in, it could only be a joke for them to also to make something so cool looking, but like a couple of rows down make something so dumb.
Yeah.
So, cool ones, cool ones. It looks like a robot. I think one of these is just a direct Digimon. Like, it literally looks exactly like a Digimon, only I think the Digimon it's flipping off has 2 wings on its head rather than just 1. I don't know enough about Digimon to actually care though.
Anyway. Can't... Oh my god, I'm just getting pushed everywhere.
The freaking X-ray thing. It's to the end of it. And there's another freaking horrendous Digimon. There's just an elf woman. Just a regular elf woman. And some annual thing, and just... It's freaking weird. It's like... Whoever made these... Like, either A, got a bunch of other people to make them. It's just a collab. Or... Like, they just made them in intervals, depending on what they felt like doing. Like, today I'm gonna make a really stupid looking Pokemon. Or today I'm gonna make something actually legit.
When will they just explode? Okay.
There it goes.
I don't think they get bigger there. They just kind of do that. They do the animation, but they don't.
Yeah, it's just a reused animation.
Yeah.
I found some Fakemon that look like they belong in Pokemon Quartz version or some crap. They look that bad.
Maybe you'll eventually progress to not falling off the elevator.
Yeah.
I think that's an OTG quote, actually. I forget what it was from. Oh, it was from the Minecraft HTSF.
Oh.
Because at the very beginning he's on the Tower of Power, which isn't really the Tower of Power at that point. And oh, fuck off. Anyway, what happens is, so what happens is he's, building his little house, which isn't really the Tower of Power yet. And, so he's building his house on the proto Tower of Power, and he's like crafting, and this is back in the day, back when, like this is before shift clicking was even a thing.
Yeah.
So he's crafting, and then he exits the crafting menu with stuff still in his in the crafting table.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that actually.
Which results in, all the stuff just goes onto the floor. And I think eventually he says that, like, I think it goes something like, maybe we'll eventually progress to not throwing all the shit out, or something like that.
Yeah.
I have since used that for a lot of things.
Which is, it's a fairly versatile quote.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose. This one polka dots I'm looking at, or not really polka dots, it's like not even 100, I don't think. But the second, fire starter is a T-Rex version of Houndoom.
Huh.
Like, literally, they just took Houndoom's texture, and its, whole texture and whatever, and just converted it into T-Rex.
Wow.
What?
No, I'm just thinking. This little thing right here.
The little knot, one of those things from Super Metroid.
Yeah. Like, they put those in the game, like the things from Super Metroid, and the model's still in the game.
Yeah.
But eventually they were like, fuck it, we're gonna make our own version.
Yeah, because I guess they do kind of fit more that location better.
Yeah. Oh, that's just shit.
What? Oh, you landed right in the freaking trash.
Almost here. I think what I'm gonna do is beat this boss, then save, and then end the stream.
Yeah. So now I'm just having to look at Pokédex.
Yeah.
Or else I could possibly just start dozing off. I'm trying to pay attention to the stream, but also like try and find something to like scrounge up some kind of commentary for it.
Uh-huh.
And yeah. Found another decent looking Pokédex, and it doesn't seem to be like half a joke. The last one. Starts with a grass type dinosaur starter, a fire squid starter, and a water dog starter.
I guess technically I was never here.
Yeah. That one room again.
Yeah.
Before the thing.
But hey, at least I have the tools now.
Yeah, so you can actually beat the boss the way the game wants you to.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait, I think this Pokédex is also half a joke. Because, like, there's a pink Pokemon. You know the, like, marshmallow, Easter marshmallows that are shaped like little shits? Or, like, yellow things. There's a Pokemon in this Pokédex. That's exactly. And there's also a blobfish Pokemon. So yeah, it's also half a joke. definitely a case of just the game on that way.
I don't think you can actually one-shot him.
Yeah. But you can get pretty close just with shooting like his weak points to get him into that phase.
However, these guys are being annoying.
Very freaking late aimed at his leg at one point and just freaking hit off his arm.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Really, it doesn't matter. All I need to do is wait around for one thing. I need to just... yeah, there he is. And he's dead.
You ripped. Hooray.
Well, that was fucking stupid, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. Even though it was not any fault of the freaking stream, it was the fault of the game of not freaking having the item that you need to beat the guy be in a slightly more obvious position. And then you get a phase on suit. So you don't get hurt by the
Yeah, and you also
shock.
get a new morph ball. That isn't working right now. Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
With a sweet red trail.
Edge Samus.
Yeah.
I will admit it looks pretty sleek.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Tron, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
The light cycle.
Uh-huh. What else can I do? Oh, also, where is this?
Energy tank.
Inventory. Still occasionally have control failures. Where I just occasionally forget which button does what.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the muscle... It's just muscle memory. Now, what? What do I do now? Either way, it's actually possible to get all the way to this point without the spider ball.
Dang. I guess most of the spider ball is just like slightly easier ways to get to things, and occasionally some secrets.
Huh. Really, there's someone else?
What?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm actually gonna go back to that save room. I think I'll actually be able to finish the game next time. I know I said that. Like, I said that about this time.
Yeah, you said that you might be able
to. Yeah. Get out of my way. The Metroids were blocking the door.
I think I found the Pokedex that everyone thinks is like the best, one of the best fan-made Pokedexes out there.
Yeah?
And the thing is, though, is that a lot of the Pokemon are either resprites or directly ripped off of that one, like, bootleg Pokemon game that was actually just a Pokemon clone called, Telefang.
Yeah?
A lot of these Pokemon sprites are just borrow from Telefang. Like, direct borrow. To the point of almost stealing.
Uh-huh.
And everyone thinks it's like, wow, what an original Pokedex.
Huh.
And it makes me so mad because the Telefang monsters look pretty cool, actually.
Uh-huh.
And the fact that the original guy isn't getting the credit, it sucks.
Yeah. Might look at this now.
This is the random thing in the link, that last one that was like half joke, half cool design ideas.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, like after this I'm gonna get off.
What did you just say?
After this I'm gonna get off.
Okay.
Because I'm getting kind of tired. And also, I just freaking remembered I have something I have to do tomorrow.
Okay. So you might not be able to get on
like, I have
tomorrow?
to get up kind of early.
You might not be able to get on tomorrow?
I might be able to get on.
I hope so.
So,
But I don't know.
but I think I should be able.
You know, without Pokedex entries, these aren't really.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that like a lot of one of the biggest problems is that a lot of these Pokedex thingies is that they tend to like not. A lot of these Fakemon tend to just not feature. Because there's some people who just upload the Fakemon like in the file that they post as like a Pokedex sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's all that you ever see of them?
Yeah. You don't actually get to read like the explanation behind the thing that looks like something from Sonic.
Uh-huh.
Or the thing that looks like a Digimon or whatever.
Huh.
But this one, let me paste this in the chat. This is the one that I think you can actually find the Pokedex entries on YouTube because of how popular this one is. But it's the Pokedex for a game called Battlefire. And it's pretty interesting because a lot of the Pokemon in Battlefire are ripped off and directly like parts of the sprite. Like either entire sprites were ripped off or parts of sprites were ripped from the monsters in Telefang.
Yeah.
So they just cheated on the thing, and they didn't even tell anyone about it. They didn't say that they were going to try and like, well, I'm gonna try to Pokemonify that one bootleg Pokemon ROM hack and just use some of these things. They didn't say anything about that. They just said it's a new original Pokemon thing in a new region, and it's cool and whatever.
So these are all stolen, pretty much?
Yes, they are stolen, and no one knows it. People still praise this thing today.
Huh. I wonder how often you see this on VP. Or if I wonder if I wonder.
You might have seen it on VP, because people still talk about it being good. I don't know if anyone's actually found out the truth behind most of these things.
I feel like VP would be the kind of place that would know about it, though.
Yeah. Considering they cover everything, and Telefang does have a cult community. They have an entire forum dedicated to fans of this like Pokemon ripoff that wasn't actually too bad because it's kind of interesting because it's kind of like Digimon in the fact that they're electrical monsters. But they live in this electrical reverse world that can only be accessed through these giant artificial trees that have antennas on top of them. And the whole like thing is that they essentially they all own cell phones. And the whole thing is that they just like, instead of getting them on your party, you have one that follows you around constantly. But instead of putting a bunch of Denju, as they're called, on your party, you just, if you need like extra help in a battle, you just call one up. You select their number, and you're like, hey buddy, can you show up? And sometimes they say yes. Occasionally, depending on how close like of a connection you're with, they'll say no, I'm not going to show up, I have stuff I have to do.
Yeah.
And it's a neat concept. I'm trying to find the like most of the comparisons between these, like in the rip-off decks is what I'm gonna call it. Number 166.
Yeah.
It looks like a cow guy with like claws and spikes. That's essentially just a rip-off of a sprite of a cow guy from the same game that's been like recolored. I'm trying to find him, but all these Pokemon thingies have really freaking weird names.
Man, that red and black Lugia is so edgy that it hurts.
Yeah, the freaking, like, I'm guessing that's like the ultimate Shadow Lugia.
Yeah.
It's like, or maybe it's the Battle Fire Lugia, considering it is the poster boy Pokemon, which once again is not original. I think, like, I will say is that, like, even though a lot of these are ripoffs, they still took the time to, like, recolor, and, like, because coloring stuff is tedious. And I think a few of these are original. Like, if they look kind of poor, they probably are original. Like, the purple thing that looks kind of weird. Like, it's purple and black. It starts at 145.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever remembered seeing anything like that in Telefang's decks.
Uh-huh. I just kind of want to get off right now.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and stop streaming. I think that's pretty much all there is to say about that one dex.
Yeah.
Or that one game.
Uh-huh. Well, I hope that everyone enjoyed Metroid Prime for tonight.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it this time.
Like, thing with the having to backtrack.
Uh-huh. And I think we might actually finish the game next time. Now, I know I said about it this time, but I think I mean it this time.
Yeah.
Considering there's just a fetch quest and then the end of the game, pretty much.
And
so, really all that needs to be done is that, and then it's on to the next game. And so, I think I'm going to stop the stream right now.
Alright.
I hope that everyone enjoyed it, and I hope that everyone has a good night.